I hope everyone's having a good day. It's Friday afternoon. Hope everybody can have a good weekend. It's a little windy out there. Be careful on your drive home. And a couple of things. First of all, go to my channel, subscribe to my channel, like this video, comment on this video, share this video, and thanks for watching. So anyways, what we got going on here is we're going to do a setup on this guitar. It's way out of whack. The action's high. The nut height, I believe, is a little high. We're looking for about 20 thousandths on the nut height. I think this one's coming in. Yeah, it's way high from 20. It's probably closer to 30. Let me check it real quick. 30, it's still high from 30. So the nut's high, the action's high. I want to check the truss rod real quick. And I think I'm getting some fret buzz. Is the reason why the action and everything's so high to begin with. Let's see where the truss rod's at real quick. Capo on the first fret, hold down on the 17th fret. Check it at the 7th. It's a little high. Check it at the 9th. It's a smidgen high. It's probably about, it's got to come down. The radius on the back here, the radius of the back of the fretboard, it's pretty good, except the A string is low. So, and we're going to put on some new strings, some 9s, and we're going to set this whole thing up. So we're going to do basically everything. I think we're getting some fret buzz in there. I'm going to drop the action a little bit and check it, but I think we're going to have to do some fret work on it too. So probably do fret work and then do a complete setup on it. So I went ahead and set the action at the 12th fret to the lowest point that I could put it. And the saddles are, if you can see it there, they're bottomed out. They don't go no lower there. And the problem I'm having is at the 12th fret, the action is on the high end of the 5/64. It won't go no lower. So I can't really get it lower. So what I'm going to have to do is take the neck off and put a shim in there to jack the back of the neck up, and then that way I can get my saddle set adjusted right to get the proper action. I also rechecked the truss rod at the 7th fret, and it come down a little bit when I dropped the action naturally, but it's still high, and the nut end is still high. So the nut's going to probably come out completely. And I mean, I'm not sure yet, but it'll probably come out completely, and I'll work on that on the bench and then put it back in. The neck's gonna have to come off, put a shim in there. And I do got fret buzz on the 2 low strings, the E and the A string. The rest of them sound pretty good across there. So I'm gonna have to check that, see if they got maybe high frets or just a bad setup. Probably that's what it is. So anyways, let me get the strings off this, and we'll get working on it. Okay, so we got the neck off of this guitar, and we're going to put this shim, lay it back against the back like that. Now this guitar is pretty dirty. We're going to go ahead and clean up the pick guard, but what else I found was these knobs are really loose. I mean, that's barely hanging in there, so we're going to take that off and tighten that up. The toggle's not bad, and the jack's loose. So all that's got to get tightened up. The bridge is pretty good, so we're going to tighten them up, and then we're going to get this neck back on, and we can continue with this. So I took some cleaner here, and I got the guitar all cleaned up. It was filthy, and I went ahead and tightened up the knobs, the potentiometers, and the jack. Everything's good there. So that stuff's ready to go back on. I didn't have to take the pick guard off to change that. Just use the screwdriver in the top like that, and then took the wrench and tightened the bolt up and held the toggle from moving like that on each one of them. Same way with the jack. I actually pulled the jack out, held the back of it, and tightened it back down. So that's good to go. And now we're going to put the neck back on and get this thing ready to go. So I pulled the guitar nut out once I got the neck back on, and basically what I'm doing is I'm just taking the nut itself and sanding the bottom down, and then once I get it down to the height I want, I'll set it back down in, and I'll get it close, and then I can come back once I get the nut set in, get the strings on, and take my nut files and file each individual string down to the proper height once I get it close. So that's what we're working on right now. Okay, you can see I got the pickups taped off, and the reason I got that is I'm getting ready to polish the frets, or finish polishing the frets. I come down through, and on this fret, the 20th fret, the 17th, in this area, there's 3 high frets between the 15th and the 20th fret. So I went ahead and filed them down, and then took some sandpaper and sanded down and got the frets basically ready to polish. Now I'm going to take steel wool up through here and basically just go across the frets, getting them polished, also cleaning the fretboard, and we're going to condition the fretboard. So after I put the shim in, the original first shim I put in it, the neck, the neck ended up being too high. So I took it back out and put a smaller shim in, and it was still too high. What I ended up doing is taking it back out and putting no shim in it, and that's about where the saddle's going to sit at, if you can make that out. So yeah, it just might have been that it didn't need a shim at all, and I just didn't. It was just set up so bad that I thought it did. Anyways, there's no shim in there. It's back to where it was originally, and I got the action on the 6th string close, so we're good there. So now we're just going to go ahead and do the setup truss rod nut. I got to fight on the nut yet, and then we'll do everything else, and we should be playing this thing in a couple minutes. Okay, so this one is finally done. This one was really really bad setup. I mean, it was really out of whack. The truss rod at the 7th fret was about double what it should have been. It was about 15 to 20 thousandths too much. The nut was almost 30 thousandths, and we had to bring it down to 18 thousandths. So the nut's nice and low. Got the truss rod set. Come back to the 12th fret action. It was 7/64 on the low E. We now got it down to 5/64, and it was almost 5/64 on the high E string. We got it down to 3/64. And then the action, or the saddles, which that was with the action, there was nothing there. We had to intonate the guitar. It wasn't that bad. The 3 knobs, tighten them up. The jack was loose, tightened it up. Put a shim in the neck, but then ended up taking it back out. Didn't really need it. Cleaned the whole guitar up. The pickup height was a little off. The rear one was a little low. The other 2 was pretty good, so it stayed basically pretty good there. And we got new strings on it, conditioned the fretboard, and now it's ready to play. So it plays a lot better, and so especially with that nut being that high, 30 thousandths, almost 10 thousandths of an inch too high. That's a big difference. I can tell a big difference on that. So anyways, thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel. Go to my Facebook page, Andrew Allan Guitars. Comment, share this video, and thanks for watching. I'll see you in another video down the road. Have a safe weekend. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you later.